If we look at the Middle East, I think it's about time we stop, those of us who support, as most of us do, Israel in this body, for apologizing for our support for Israel. There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us a credit and we will give you back money.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and this is the midweek report. And as you see, Joe Biden is falling in the polls, and the Shills are worried. They seem to think that they have gained a new tactic from last night, but we already see that that was a issue that we knew wasn't going to go away, and they still have the exact same issue with the black vote. So, with that being said, we're going to kind of go old school for those of you who have been with this channel for a while. And we're going to be looking at some old clips because, see, we have to always know what's been said in the past and what's been done before, and certain associations, so we can understand why we see certain things we see today. So we're going to do that. So again, as you're coming in, please hit that like button. Share this broadcast if you would. I'd much appreciate that. Thank you for all of you who support me on this channel right here and all the voices of New Black Media. Because again, this is not just about the person behind the mic or behind the camera, but it's also about you. So thank you. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon all of you. And with that being said, also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you can go ahead and do so here at this moment and hit that subscribe button if you would. And you can also then take part of the conversation. So, yes, indeed. Looks like we got some folks in the chat here already. And so as we do here on the lives, we got the live chat going. So we like to greet the family before we get started. And so we have Cyberdyne 100 in the house. You know, I saw a message in here earlier. I'm surprised that that's gone now. But shout out to, I think that was Dark Skin Brother. We got, but Cyberdyne 100 in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Black first, brother. We got One Who Cares in the building. Thank you, and thank you for what you sent me. I will be playing that this evening, by the way, so thank you so much for that, my good sister. Patricia Slade in the building. Welcome, welcome. Jersey City is in the building. I appreciate you. And we got our good sister Blueberry Muffin in the house. Good evening. Good evening, my good sister Black First. And always good to see you in the house, my I-5 compadre. Derek Parker in the house, Black First family. Appreciate you being here, Derek. We have our good sister Tia to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you, my good sister. Yes, indeed. We on the beat. Oh, that's Blueberry Muffin. Yeah. We got Oyela's Cadence in the house. Good to see you, my sister. How are you doing this good evening? Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are now international. D. Foster in the house. Welcome, welcome, D. Foster. It's good to have you in the building this evening, Black First. And all eyes on us, Black First family. I appreciate you being here. And Black Turner in the house, Black First, Black First. Black First from LA, all right. And we got our good sister, Judah Queen in the building. Shout out to you, my good sister. Black First as always. All right. All right, all right. So, like I said, we, you know, it's interesting the kind of conversations that we have been hearing out here as of recent about how we don't really kind of leading to how we don't understand politics as a collective community, which does not make any sense. Miriam in the house. Miriam in the house. Good to see you, my good sister. Miriam, as always, Black First, my good sister. Certified. Salute to you. Let's see. So what I want to do is I want to play you the first part of and then go into a bit of this article just to set up the whole conversation that we're having this evening, which you guys already understand. Joe Biden is obviously falling in the polls. He is not faring so well right now, and rightfully so. It's not like we should be surprised, but I believe this is one of the Oh, come on. I can't get it. Hold on. How did I need to do that? All right. So in some of these key states, and that's why things are kind of in disarray. Oh, come on. I don't know why it's doing this, but I was trying to show you the graphic and that ain't coming up. So let's do it. Let's hear from an NBC report. And I'm going to just play the audio so I don't get a copyright strike. But she's also going to talk about this New York Times article and the person that was, she talks a little bit with one of the people who contributed to it as well. So let's see. Oh, and did y'all like this one? Yeah, stay away from the eugenicists. That's the Democratic eugenicist plan. That's one of them anyway. And so this is actually the major thing that they're going to be running on because they had a big victory in Ohio. So now they're like, hey, it's time to go forth and hop back on the abortion train. So you because again, you got to do something. And it's like black folks' big thing is not abortion. So I don't know why you're going to do it, but you're going to do it anyway. So let's hear. Let's see. Okay. Let's hear this. Playing. There we go. Oh no, now there's no sound. Hold on.
Can't do what he did in 20.
Let's go back here. How's this thing janky tonight? All right. Can we do that? All right. Oh Lord. Okay, here we go.
Alarm fire, a cardiac case in need of a defibrillator, a slow march into the sea to drown. That is how 2024 is being described by Democratic strategists who are worried Joe Biden can't do what he did in 2020, beat Donald Trump. Joining us now, one of the writers behind that piece, NBC News senior politics reporter Alex Seitz-Wald. Alex, a cardiac case in need of a defibrillator, a slow march into the sea to drown. That sounds very bad.
Yeah, Kate, choose your metaphor, and there are others out there equally dire from the Democratic strategists we spoke to. The cause of this freakout is this New York Times polling over the weekend that showed Biden down in all 5 of the swing states they polled, and not by 1 or 2 points. That's broadly consistent.
Hold on, family. Let me show you something here. So, real quick, here's the poll. So there's the graphic. Thank you, Judah Queen. Thank you, Judah Queen. Oh my goodness. So we have a hypothetical 2024 general election. And this is from the New York Times. Arizona. I mean, this is not good for Joe Biden. And this is coming from they're reputable sources. So, man. And these are key states too. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. And so, like we were saying, the Shills are worried.
Lots of polling that we've seen, and if you dive down into these polls, you see Biden weak on the economy, losing support with black voters, with Hispanic voters, with young voters. These are key coalitions, key parts of the Democratic coalition, and you see that the Democratic base is a problem, enthusiasm is a problem, concerns about Biden's age remain a problem. So these have all been issues that have been going on for a long time with Biden, but I think it's kind of reaching a point now where it's harder for Democrats to starting to vocalize their concerns a little bit more. So the problem is that the Democratic Party is basically stuck with Biden. The Carolina passes on Friday, so the primary window is dramatically closing.
Wow.
Biden wants to be the nominee. He's the president. He will very likely be the party's nominee.
The question I ask myself about what will happen in 2024 is who's the voter out there who did not change in that time? What would convince them? Is that about voters deciding to vote for Trump when they didn't vote for him in 2020? Or is it more about voters just not showing up for Joe Biden and maybe not voting at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's both. The immediate concern is voters not showing up, not voting. Especially in presidential elections, it's really who can get everybody on the field, everybody out to the polls. It's all about turnout. But if you can flip a vote, that's worth 2 votes. You're taking 1 vote from your opponent and you're giving to yourself. So any dissatisfaction, anybody believing that Trump would have done better, that is also a problem for Joe Biden.
You bet it is. It's a huge problem for Joe Biden. We got our brother Kid Gravity Beyond in the building. Good evening, my good brothers. Black First Night Writer check-in. Shout out and salute to you, my brother. Yes, indeed. We have Devin Haley in the house. Welcome. Yeah, yes, indeed. So as it said, 5-alarm fire, and that's how they presented it too. So, yeah, that's how things are happening right now. Now, again, a lot of people would tell you that, this ain't got nothing to do with the black vote. They would have said that years ago, but not today. Today, they are very well aware that they're focusing in on the loss of black support, and not just black support, but Latino support as well, which, I don't think they've really ever had a big they never had a big Latino base. They do a lot of Latino support, but they never had a big Latino base. Those Latinos vote for their Republican bosses. You understand what I'm saying? But we're going to also look at some shielding, and we got to take some necessary looks at because see the things that are presented now, they talk to black folks as if we don't follow politics. Like our brother Kid Gravity Beyond in the chat, he is a person that follows politics heavy. And if you watch and look at all of our timelines, you would see that most of us are in tune on a daily basis with politics. The funny thing that always trips me out about some of these shills when they start popping out the woodwork is the fact that you'll go look at their timelines and there's nothing about politics on their timelines. But you knew you had to come say something to black folks and interrupt the flow of us not messing with Joe Biden. Well, it's going to be an interesting one this evening, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to walk it all the way down. Another thing that Hillary Clinton also kind of did, because they're pretty much, they are sold to their game plan of out-fearing the black vote. Like they have not demonstrated enough that you would fear the black vote or fear, not voting Democrat. But and people might think, no, they'll get over that at some point in time.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
Yeah. So there it is, man. Yeah. So let's see, where do I need to go in Shillapalooza land first? Well, first, let me go back to how we began this broadcast for those of you who weren't in the very beginning of this live. Let me play you the two videos that we kicked this show off with.
If we look at the Middle East, I think it's about time we stop, those of us who support, as most of us do, Israel in this body, for apologizing for our support for Israel. There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
Have to go out and invent one. Invent one. And, you know, it's so funny because we've been, as a country, shelling out taxpayer money over to Ukraine. And, you know, when Israel says they gonna just come in and take the money, well, then the faucet turns off for Ukraine. And so now you got Zelensky out here doing like this.
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us a credit and we will give you back money.
Was he offering a Ponzi scheme? What kind of hustle is that? What kind of Nigerian prince hustle is that? Yes, indeed. Nichelle Hargrave in the house. Black first, family. Good to see you in the chat. It has been a while. Appreciate you being in the house, good sister. So, yeah. Just give us something. Just something. Oh man, it's all bad over there, ain't it? Man, I'm telling you, when that star on that flag coming through, everything halts. Everybody else, you thought you was getting broke. America is opening up the old checkbook, huh? I mean, truth be told, the only thing that's gonna stop this immigrant illegal invasion is gonna be Israel. Because they're gonna be like, yeah, all that money you spending on them, nah, we gonna need all of that. So you're gonna have to shut down the borders. Boy, they be starting deporting folks overnight. So I mean, that might very well be the answer. Netanyahu be like, yeah, I want that immigrant money too. I mean, come on. And what's so funny is this guy, it was literally on trial for corruption. Literally on trial for corruption. And then now he's in place until the end of the war. And so you had Hamas, technically, which is basically a group with no face, declare war against Israel. For those of you who don't understand, and for those of you who do, we see very clearly that they are setting up perpetual war. And then you hear the way that some of those folks are talking. It's like, wow. You would never think genocidal talk would be so mainstream media cool. As long as it's against this particular group's foes. I mean, you could wish death on everybody over there. That's just how interesting this thing is. Y'all remember the video I played last week from TikTok? You could be prosecuted for boycotting certain places. And for those of you, again, who've been with me long enough, y'all remember my very first weekly wrap-up? And I told you about who was all tied in behind certain things, and we walked it all down, the companies and government of the companies that some subsequently see, here's a thing that some people say they call people that are not, and they call them goyim, which means cattle. Well, there's a process that you do with cattle. You herd them all into your gates, and then you brand them. So everybody now knows you're the property of this rancher. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just giving information out, and you can decipher it on your in your wise moments, and put the one to the two. You don't need me. I'm just setting it out for you to receive it. Lord. So yeah, let's get it cracking. Because we need to hit Chicago. And what's so funny about Chicago, I just taking a look. When they tell us about how we don't understand and what we don't understand, and we're emotional and we just don't get it. Well, I got to go back and take this flashback. Because we're hearing that now, that, we're thinking with emotion. I remember they thought that tactic would work. Y'all remember
Roland
this?
made a really legitimate point here. I will say, a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by black women in the media. So this is not that. But I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored, and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not putting black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the black women. Is majority, like he said, vote Democrat. But that margin of people who can be plucked away from your people and go advance policies that harm your people, I just don't understand that. Roland made a really legitimate point here.
Now, with that being said, that didn't work out for Tiffany so well. Ain't that the truth, family? I mean, that didn't work out so well for old Tiff. Yeah, and it didn't get Roland any. Well, I mean, hey, man, I guess Roland is, I don't know what the hell he did, but he got his Black Star Network. Like I said, I see them. What is that on my Prime thing? So I see it through. I think he's on Freevee. So yeah, Roland on like Freevee, I believe. Speaking of Roland Martin, for those of you who was with me last week, we're gonna be since we got to talk about Roland Martin tonight, we're gonna be having little angry Roland Martin. And for those of you who are unaware of who little angry Roland Martin is, this is the Spanish angry little Roland Martin.
A ver, hijo de la chingada, deja de estar viendo memes, pendejo.
A la verga me vale verga, perro. Y cálate a la verga, hija de tu puta madre, a la verga. La verga, verga, sus...
oh boy. So let's see. Let's get to Dr. Oddface. So these people, what's so funny? Y'all been out there hitting her up with that name too, because I just can't help but notice like one of these videos, her face is quite beat. I'm like, oh, you like, oh no, I'm a woman. Oh, we knew that. Let me stop. But I will say, like I said, she had her face beat. Like, oh, okay, look at you. Got your hair curled up. Like, she getting ready to go out for the evening. Hey, don't let me rain on your parade. But we do have to about this Democratic Party that you keep pushing down our throats. And then the whole notion that what we're saying is, there's another reason why they're not really like, oh, you guys are leaning MAGA. You'll still hear Roland Martin doing that because he's stuck there. But see, there's a real reason why they're getting away from that talking point right now. And that's Cornel West. They are absolutely, I mean, boy, y'all keep our brother protected over there because them folks is upset with Cornel West right now. You understand me? Because you can take the chance and vote for independence. You understand? Independent for independence. Maybe that is the answer. Because all the Democrats are going to run on is this. Pushing, well, we went in Ohio, everybody. So here's the marching orders. Yeah. But once again, you're going to have to ask yourself, how do you get this young new wave of Black voting age individuals to vote for an 80-year-old man who has nothing but a history of anti-Black behavior, anti-Black company that he keeps, and he's 80 years old. Why would you think that he has grown out of his own behavior? That makes no sense. But, some people, that was so long ago. And isn't that why you say he's qualified? Because it was so long ago. So we're going to, have to go through it here because we're going to have to break our folks from this. Because when we say be independent, this is what they see. Joe Biden's the only candidate I know and love. I ain't messing with no independent nothing. A third party is might as well be voting for Trump. And I mean, no, it ain't. Voting for a Black independent candidate. And I'm not really saying that Cornel West is the best candidate. But right now, as it stands, I don't think there's anybody else talking to Black folks. And he's making an opportunity because people say, well, you'll never get an all-Black, pro-Black candidate. Well, welcome to the new world, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another thing that you can take from Tiffany Cross as well. She understood that the grassroots voice was the main voice on the floor. So she's now saying, get under line with Black women who are up under the Democrats. That's what we got to look forward to. Like, we don't have a mind to lead our own community. While we've had nothing but roadblocks put in the way to make sure and ensure that we don't. And so, even with that being said, notice how Roland Martin will never really be harping too much about Chicago. He stay away from that, don't he? All of these Democrats that we don't know anything. There's a whole bunch of people that keep showing up to these city council meetings in Chicago. They sound very well aware of the situation that they're being put in. So I don't know why now they would be so ignorant. But You know. What do I know? So let's walk it down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's walk it down. We are getting into it tonight.
Hey, y'all. So I was getting caught up on the latest episodes on Roland Martin from this week. And I came across this video. And I thought this was really good because it opens up the dialogue to the black vote and how the Democrats are needing to do better with their outreach to black male voters. And he made some really good points, and so did the guests that he had for his panel and his guests that he also spoke to individually. Now, we often hear about how the Democrats are constantly raising up black women, whether they're putting them in a Supreme Court position or they are being on the ground leading initiatives like Black Voters Matter. And don't get me wrong, these organizations, although headed by women, are actually giving outreach to all black people. But you rarely hear about that in mainstream media or even online. You hear this generalized smear campaign of nobody's talking to black men. Even though these candidates, some of these candidates have been out here really trying to push the initiative to talk to black men problems. You don't hear about them in mainstream media because Stacey Abrams was one of the people running last year. And there was a huge smear campaign against her saying that she didn't care about black men. You have famous people leading the charge against Stacey Abrams, famous black men. Even though black men turned out in higher numbers, just like black women, more than any other racial demographic. So I'm trying to understand what is it that black men are not getting when it comes to the voter process, when it comes to being galvanized by a political party. Is it the lack of information of who's running and what platforms they're running on? Is it the lack of understanding what black male issues are? Because the numbers are showing something completely different from what we see online. What are we missing?
I guess she would know what black male issues are more than black men.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
I mean, it's this notion that black men are just so doggone simple that we don't even know what our own issues are to hear somebody speaking to our issues. That is literally what she just said. And then saying there's a smear campaign that says it. They're ignoring black men. No, we did not say that. And here, that's another lie. No. Hear me good from a black man to Shills ears and eyes. For you who are hate watching. No, here's the truth. Oh, and my man, the writer, yeah, you know, I noticed that. I was like, oh wow, they brought out the real big guns for follows. All right, but like I said, that tells me everything I need to know. Pulling out the big ones. But anyway, they're talking about Stacey Abrams not having or talking to men and the Democrats ignoring men. It's not ignoring men. It's dissing black men, insulting black men. And it's so ingrained that as they're trying to explain it, they're still insulting. So I just played you. Also remember, y'all kind of forget sometimes that y'all can take the capes off because black women are the culture. I mean, these are the things that were being pushed. Not to mention, black men, us black men, brothers, we are the white supremacists to our community, right? I mean, these are all the messages that we're getting, right? It's not about being ignored. It's about being targeted. And so when a person recognizes that, oh, this is who's had the knife in my back, it's going to be kind of hard to put that cat back in that box. The cat's out the bag, the kittens is meowing. We see you for what you are. Now, from what's really, I hope y'all are also taking a real understanding of what's going on here in America and the you see one big state. Now, if you really was paying attention, because there's another little silent partner in this mix that's somehow subsequently kind of quiet. But old Great Britain over there's old silent partner there too. So, let's understand all the players at play. And everybody's moving like one big state. That sounds like Rome to me, with just using America as a satellite. But maybe I'm just overthinking it. What y'all think? I mean, to me, it looked like Rome to me. Got your feet on two shores at the same time. But I mean, there's so much that I don't understand because, I'm emotional. So I don't be knowing. I just be trying to just stay attuned and stay out of trouble. Maybe I should just keep my head down and just, hey, how y'all doing? Hey, y'all having fun today? I mean, boy, the sun is nice out today, ain't it? I'll tell you what. Ooh, I thought I don't want no trouble. Oh, yeah. Lord, that happy-go-lucky Negro. So, like I said, going back to what this sister said. Now, see, this this is how you know when people have great disdain for black men, because her arrogance and her smugness is, and the energy that she give off is what lets you know from which vantage point she's coming from. So here again, sister, I just notice how it's black women still telling black men they don't know what bothers them. Somebody is really missing the mark. And I'm telling you, the Democrats have exited the game of knowing how to read the room. There is nobody over there with a pulse on Black America other than the people that they send to pay attention to the grassroots. And that's about it. You're hearing, okay, here's a whole nother thing. And pay attention to how marketing works. We are trendsetters. Have y'all noticed in commercials even, they're using the word foundational to sell products, to sell health goods. They're using our words and phrasing to sell goods. So to say that we in the grassroots could not influence how an election goes, you are out of your mind. You are now just lying to yourself. And now the numbers show. And that tells you what? That yes, we do lead the charge, but once we actually lead the charge, now you start seeing other people follow. And you are seeing Democrat disarray. Democrat disarray, but with good reason. So like I said, Dr. Oddface back here with another PSA to tell us how stupid we are.
Good morning, cousins. Happy Saturday to you. I look cute and I smell good, but that's not why we're here. I have a question to my followers. I am genuinely mind blown by a lot of some of the comments that I have been getting regarding civics and government. And I genuinely want to know, what is it that you think people should know about civics and government that you think they don't know? Because I am mind blown by the basics that people don't know. And every time I learn that people don't know something regarding civics or government, I'm genuinely mind blown. So if there's something that you know that you think people should know regarding civics and government, what is it?
That's no different than what Tiffany Cross said back then. Same suit, just reheated. All she did was, the problem is that you just don't know. I mean, you don't even understand how civics works. I mean, I guess we have just a whole wave of illiteracy out here, because if we don't know how civics works, then that means mostly everybody hasn't graduated high school. I mean, wow. You got to be on some deep type of you've mind jobbed yourself into, number one, believing that you don't hate yourself. And I mean, I guess the defense mechanism that you built to defend that lie is amazing. And you should probably be examined by a psychologist. A lot of people, like all of y'all in that lane too. Y'all should go turn yourselves over to psychologists and let them just go study the madness in that. Because the clear sign of saying, I'm going to distance myself from my own community for Joe Biden, you clearly hate yourself. There's nothing else. Like, there's no other road to go down other than you hate yourself. And by turn, you hate your community. That's why a Joe Biden can sit up here and talk to older black folks like this.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
That didn't land well. That sure didn't land well now, did it? Okay. Oh, wait, is this here? I got another sound clip. I need to get in here. There we go. But before we get there, oh Lordy me. Let me play some more, because again, this is a politician. And us black folks, we so emotional, and because we're so emotional and uneducated, we just vote with our emotions. But what does that say by Barack Obama getting in the office? Does that mean to say that you voted with your emotions wrongly? Well, there is something to say that you learned from the mistakes of your past. And I think from 2008 to 2023, there's enough mistakes made for somebody to look at a track record and say, yeah, I think we probably could have went another route. Because here's the truth. Had Trump would be getting ready to get out of his second term. Joe Biden, I guess, knowing he probably couldn't wait till 2008, had to think of himself, because him being president right now is nothing but a selfish choice. So the Democrats, don't blame black voters, blame Joe Biden, blame Hillary Clinton. Those are the people you need to blame. They put you here. We didn't. Because this move from the people is inevitable. You can't keep, benign neglect doesn't work forever. And in these in this day and age, think of what we're saying. We're talking about benign neglect within our face, within like the same voting cycle. And I mean, I keep telling y'all like how we're in the same generation that we've seen all of this stuff already done before. They're not even waiting to just break out the old trick. Well, just do it again. I mean, them Negroes. I mean, they don't know no better. I mean, am I off, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. Let me know. But nonetheless, this woman is an elected official, and if y'all, I'm sure y'all remember this one. But let's play this.
Here's the deal. Perception is reality. And so when you look at the data that was provided in this poll, it talks about how people feel. And when people decide whether they're going to the poll or whether they're not going to the poll, it's all about how you feel in that moment. And so while the facts may not align with their feelings are dictating their reality. Their reality is that they said that they feel better or they felt better when Trump was in office. But we've been trying to push back. We've got some very popular African-American artists that are out here saying things like, oh, I got checks when Trump was in office. I want those checks again, not understanding that that really came from Congress. So we've got a couple of things, the perception issue, and then we also have an issue as it relates to civics in this country and people not understanding exactly how any of this works.
Civics. Once again, there it is. Physics, we don't understand. Not physics, civics. Yes, indeed. Dominique Devereaux in the building. I see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, indeed. I see my brother, dark-skinned brother, has made it in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ah, yes, indeed. And Miss D at Sweet 201 has made it in as well. Shout out to you. Yes, indeed. Oh, and DSM Sinister. Shout out to you. Stacey Evans didn't care for black men. That's a fact. Remember that the little late in the game thing she tried to pull with at the little barbershop, and then come to find out that she wasn't even in the room with the men in the video. So she had to go do another one that she was actually with the people. It's like, because you're fraudulent. And people see right through these political farces. You understand what I'm saying? Black Anthem in the house. Black first. I appreciate you being here as well. And our sister Miriam said, what kind of delusional oxymoron is that? Perception is reality, not reality actually bear witness. Your perception is not my reality. Exactly. And see, this is her thing. Well, this is what all of them are doing right now. Is okay, let's take the position of messaging that, man, they just don't understand. Okay, I can show y'all this graphic this way. Okay. Take a look at that graphic. In the states to where and this what people should gravitate towards as well. we are influencing how even white voters are looking at this. Latinos and the like, you know. So it does, you know, we got to get, because again, they're so used to being entitled to number one, our vote, but number two, our complicity. They are so used to our complicity, it ain't funny. Now, okay, this is what I need here, because the lady I just played, y'all will know her from the video on Capitol Hill, and that's Jasmine Crockett. I believe she's from Houston, and you know, she's the new one that they're sending out there, the young, energetic mammy. So I would have to assume that, you know, she's probably already got pulled aside by AIPAC, and they already probably cutting her a check. Because for those of you, and yeah, I might have to do that like a Patreon thing. I don't know, Rumble, but because, you know, I put it to you this way: AIPAC and what they do. There's one major lady up there that she was making mention of how basically us over here, the grassroots, we're a problem for their agenda over there. Now, fast forward to now, what agenda was that exactly? Oh, was it getting gung-ho behind this other agenda to completely annihilate Palestine? While in exchange, you continue training American police forces to come over police black communities? Well, here's another thing for y'all Democrats. Y'all need to understand what type of time everybody is on. And let me first start with your boy. Let me play this little clip and just listen. Who starts playing, of course.
Break real quick. Somebody named One and Only on YouTube. Democrats funding this station, no doubt. Yo, dumbass lying. You lying. Yo, dumbass lying.
Yeah,
there we go.
He mad at that.
And then
I wish.
Brother King Lee says, Brother Roland, it is a new day. Many folks are fed up with politics. Guess who's not? MAGA. Guess who's not? White evangelicals. So we go to break. I'm going to come up with my panel. But I need all y'all to understand who talking about, man, black people fed up with politics. Guess what? Republicans, do you know why they really, really want Trump to win? Because Alito and Clarence going to retire. And they're going to appoint some 45, 49-year-old young white conservative to lock in their 63 majority. Oh, yeah. Trust me. See, they complain about Biden's age. Alito and Thomas in their 70s. They want to guarantee they have those seats for the next 30 to 40, 50 years. So for all y'all people talking about we fed up with politics, it's a whole bunch of folk that don't look like us are sitting here going, yes, we want y'all to be fed up. Because what did Donald Trump say in 2020? He says, black people, thank you for staying at home. The man was so arrogant, he literally thanked black people for not voting. Yeah, F around and find out if you want to. We'll be right back on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
This is all they have for us. Absolute insults, talk to us like we children and stupid, and then wondering, well, why aren't you just going along with the program? I mean, Y'all just don't know what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, good grief. All it is insults forever. MAGA, white evangelicals. We got a problem with white evangelicals now? If you don't get out of here, Roland Martin, stop it. Now, of course, there's a whole corruption case with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and whatnot. And the sassy mammy, the young sassy mammy, they see they're getting them young now, which I believe, and I've heard that she is not foundational Black American. And so this is her. And let's take a listen, because I want to play you actually what they were there for. Because this is the part that goes widely unnoticed about exactly what was going on in this moment while you see all this sassy mammy antic thing.
Because he's got 91 counts pending right now. But I will tell you what the president has been guilty of. He has unfortunately been guilty of loving his child unconditionally, and that is the only evidence that they have brought forward. And honestly, I hope and pray that my parents love me half as much as he loves his child. Until they find some evidence, we need to get back to the people's work, which means keeping this government open so that people don't go hungry in the streets of the United States. And I will yield.
Yes, you will. Now, with all that sassy mammying and all of this stuff that we don't understand, and MAGA this, MAGA that, let me just show you another part of the reasons that we might want to think twice about a Joe Biden candidacy, especially being at 80 years old, and this is who this dude is. Now, when a black kid or a black anybody black is around and you can't blame nobody, then they're looking for the parents to blame. I don't know how it'd be different now, so let's check this out. Thank you. Thank you. I did not realize I didn't have the sound on. Thank you. Let me back that up so y'all can hear it. Let me back this up because y'all don't want to miss this. So here we go. Oh, and right on time though. Cyberdime 100. Thank you for the Cash App donation. Appreciate that. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours. Much appreciative of that. Thank you. Now we got the sound back on. Let's go.
Try to simplify this for the American people. My colleagues across the aisle allege that this inquiry is improper and that this hearing is improper, but that could not be further from the truth. We now have enormous amounts of evidence indicate that Hunter Biden was engaged in nefarious and illegal activities with foreign nationals from China, Romania, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Russia, all while making millions of dollars doing so. We don't even know the full extent of it yet. To date, we've discovered up to $25 million in payments, and that's without even having Hunter Biden's personal bank records. The question is this, though. This is the question. This is why we're here. What did Joe Biden know and when? Due to the evidence that we found to date, Speaker McCarthy appropriately initiated an impeachment inquiry to give us additional tools to get the answer to that question. Based on the circumstantial evidence we have, the laptop, the whistleblower, shell companies' bank records, and testimony from Devin Archer, this Congress has a duty to further investigate whether Vice President Joe Biden was an affable, loving father, simply taken advantage of by his delinquent son, or a knowing participant who was complicit in the scheme and financially compensated for his role. That is why we are here today.
Now that is very interesting. So with all the I hope my parents love me like this and just love me because it's just the father loving his son. Okay, stop. And so with all of that, this is really what they're there for. This don't sound good. Like, so with all of the stuff that's going on right now, they're over here trying to sell us Joe Biden because we don't understand civics. Are you kidding?
To answer that simple question, to determine if our current president is compromised. Look, this scheme is, the plan is simple and repeated often. A foreign client has a problem. The foreign client pays a Biden. The vice president leverages influence to force favorable outcomes for the client. The Biden family earns their fee. That's the scheme. We've seen it play over and over. As we continue to investigate all of this wrongdoing, I've put a lot of time trying to figure out how all this got started. In 2014, it seems that Vice President Biden, after 4 decades of public service and thinking he would never hold public office again, started down a slippery slope. Perhaps he just wanted to help his struggling son. Maybe he never intended to sell policy decisions and for the Biden family to get millions of dollars. But there's mounting evidence that suggests that that may very be what has happened. It all began in the spring of 2014, though. Hunter Biden gets his father to have dinner with foreign nationals and his business partner, Devin Archer, in Georgetown. The foreign nationals attending this dinner were Karim Masimov, the prime minister of Kazakhstan, Kenes Rakishev, a Kazakhstani oligarch, Yelena Baturina, also happened to be the wife of the mayor of Moscow. We know that beginning in early 2014, Baturina sent a $3.5 million wire to one of Hunter Biden's shell companies, and Rakishev wired $142,300 to yet another shell company for Hunter Biden to buy a Porsche. We have the bank records to prove this. So the logical question here is, what was this money for?
Maybe she was just being nice. Maybe she was just gifting something to him. You know, but I don't care, because even if it was the devil himself, I'll tell you what, it's still better than Trump. And yeah, you deserve the Biden ball bounce if you still believe that. This is hard, cold evidence of corruption, by the way. Now, granted, like he said, the question is, what did the president know? And when? And did he gain anything? I mean, if you're thinking about, look at all the things that are going on over there right now, and kind of makes you wonder.
What were the goals of those payments? For Baturina, it seems her motives were clear. She knew that Russia was going to invade Crimea, and as a response to the invasion, the Obama administration would inevitably announce sanctions and visa bans. Who's left off the list that the Obama administration published? Who was noticeably missing? Yelena Baturina, the richest woman in Russia, the woman who wired Hunter Biden $3.5 million just days earlier. That's just a coincidence. For Rakishev, the motive was to leverage Biden's influence to aid in the facilitation of the sale of Kazakhstani state oil rights to Burisma. And guess what? In December of the same year, Rakishev's oil company and Burisma joined a Chinese Communist Party-linked company and announced a deal. Everyone got rich. Again, another amazing coincidence. These are only the first 2 of dozens of examples of the scheme. A foreign client has a problem. A foreign client pays a Biden. Vice president leverages influence to force a favorable outcome for the client. Biden family earns their fee. Our work over the last 9 months warrants additional scrutiny of Biden family members and business associates, and requires additional tools at our disposal to uncover whether Joe Biden was complicit. Again, the purpose of this investigation. Our next steps are to subpoena additional documents that will give context to these transactions to help determine Joe Biden's culpability. We're going to subpoena Hunter Biden's personal bank records, various business records such as invoices and contracts to clarify what these payments were for, Secret Service logs detailing movement patterns of then Vice President. The list goes on and on. And again, I just want everybody to remember, we're doing this because the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the IRS refuse to do their job. And we have evidence just in the last week that they're actively concealing these possible crimes.
That's treason. That's treason. Now look at some of the other things that are going on in this country, and it should kind of look familiar. It all looks the same. Because, see, it's we the people, not him the king. And what we're getting right now is he is, I want it my way, or whoever's way. And as we see, it may not, the buck probably don't start or stop with Joe Biden. Probably have to take a little trip over there to that Gaza Strip. Because, see, that's what's being exposed as the string puller. And you're literally doing it before the world's eyes. Like, all of these things before were things that were spoke of behind the scenes. You're showing the silent part loud now. I mean, good grief. You need to tell everybody in America to just do this. You got to understand, man. So check this out.
If we discover that Joe Biden was taking half of Hunter Biden's income, like Hunter told his daughter in a text message, I hope that my Democrat colleagues will put politics aside, do the right thing, and join us in impeaching a corrupt president who sold out the American people. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Yields back. Chair now recognize Mr. Gold.
And there it is. Now, people are looking at him selling out the American people, and rightfully so, because that's pretty much what has taken place. But Roland would have you think much different. Now, let's take it to Roland. Let's go back to Roland. Lord, let's hear Roland.
Having this conversation in 2018. I was talking to a brother. He owns several businesses. And he said, I didn't vote for Trump, but man, I'll be honest, that tax cut has put about $500,000 in my pocket. I said, I get it. I said, but the question is this here. Is this about your pocket, or is it about Black people being savagely destroyed left and right? Mm-hmm. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, and I was using, and we were talking about examples then, but I'm bringing it present day. How is it I could never, ever consider supporting Trump over Biden? How could I never consider voting for a third party in this race? How could I never consider that? Because the week after Buffalo, when 10 Black people were slaughtered in a grocery store, a bill was put forth on the floor that called.
It had nothing to do with that, though. See how he's trying to be really slick? A bill was put forth on the floor. It had nothing to do with that shooting at that grocery store, Roland. So he uses it. So like just after it. Yeah, it was just after. It was already slated to go. It wasn't like it was inspired by the Jacksonville thing. Not at all. No more than anybody was inspired behind the shooting in Buffalo. So the way that he's trying to frame this is just comical. You understand what I'm saying? But nonetheless, let's take a look.
Called out white nationalism, white supremacy. Every Republican voted against it.
That part.
Every Republican except one. There was a bill that was put forth on the floor of the House. And the goal was to get rid of racist extremists, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists in the military and law enforcement. And every Republican voted against it. Donald Trump had lunch with crazy-ass Kanye West and a white supremacist, a violent racist named Nick Fuentes in Mar-a-Lago.
Now listen to all the circumstantial stuff that he's saying. I just played you an impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden. And mind you, all of this with Hunter Biden is still going on right now. Like, none of that has went away. So these are the things that are literally taking place right now. And so, you know, it's funny. It's funny. Because again, Roland Martin is trying to, and he has to do like a lot of these people do. Number one, you have to avoid talking about Chicago, which used to be everybody's go-to. Look at Chicago. Look at you. You want to look at Chicago now? Also take notice that the right-wingers aren't doing that as much either. Because, see, they want their workers from all them people being dropped off in Chicago. So there is a reason for that. So you're seeing both sides kind of silent, except for you're now hearing from the people. And that's what's changing the game, baby.
I can go on. I could talk about health care.
Good.
I could talk about, as Julian just said, the cuts they want to make to education. All y'all sitting here, man, I ain't feeling this. Okay.
Hello.
We already have the highest student loan debt. Donald Trump and the Republican Party do not support student debt relief. Mm-hmm. Even though 3.5 million people have had student debt relief, and it's been $127 billion. So when I look at a multitude of issues, and I look at 9 nieces and 4 nephews, and I look at parents, dad 76, mom be 76 in about 3 weeks, there is no way in the world I can legitimately say I am for Black people and support a person and a party that is doing everything they can to decimate Black people.
Yeah. But see, there's a problem there. The Democrats are doing just the same. So then how do you now justify a person with Joe Biden's career? Again, what we were saying leading up into the election of 2020 was what? Look at his anti-Black history. Look at his historic politics against Black folks. That's Joe Biden. He's trying to tell us that Trump is so bad and all of this. You know what? Let me just go out of here because let me just play something else. Because I mean, let's hear hear who he's trying to sell us. Let's see, where do I want to go? I think we're going here.
But let's look at the facts. Since 1986, Congress has passed over 230 new or expanded penalties for drug and criminal offenses in this United States. 230 new penalties. And these penalties range from an automatic 5 years in jail for any person caught with a rock of crack cocaine, a piece of crack cocaine as small as a quarter. I don't have a quarter with me, but if you visualize what one looks like, yeah, I do have a quarter. If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, 1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others.
A staunch segregationist. But this is your boy. And he's saying, I teamed up with historical, staunch, anti-black racist Strom Thurmond to come up with this bill and come up with these laws and come up with these punishments. Also, if you shall look on the type, let me just go back here, ladies and gentlemen, because y'all need to read what's going on the bottom. So I'm going to mute this real quick, and then we're going to come back with the sound on and pay attention. But let me just see. Can I slow this down here? Let me slow this down for y'all real quick, because I want y'all to peep this. So the bill includes a 3-year ban. So 3-year prohibition. And this is about guns. So when we're thinking about, think of what he's doing right here. He's tying guns and crack. So prohibition on the manufacture, sale, and the possessees. And seize all the possessions. Oh, okay. So they were not just tying in all of this to one thing, but certain types. So you're going after certain types of semi-auto weapons. This dude doesn't change, does he? As assault weapons. You see that last part right there, family? So them automatic, certain types of semi-automatic weapons. Designated as, quote, assault weapons. Meaning this man has been at the forefront of banning and disarming folks. And why is he coupling disarmament with crack? Y'all paying attention?
Go to jail for 5, Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Now, the fact of the matter.
So that's also mandatory sentencing for those of you who don't know what all the things he's sitting up here boasting of right now. Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of them, family. He's lit. And think of the damage it's done to the black community and all of the damage that's been done to all of these families. Now, so get this. You could have left the families with the money and just punished the criminal, because there's other families that get to have that, obviously have had their money and kept it while somebody went away, maybe had to pay a fine, but you didn't break the family. These laws are designed to absolutely decimate everybody around this person. You understand? Because, okay, you weren't part of the dope trade, but now your house may have to go up for collateral. There's all types of things that happen in this time frame. So I'm just saying, keep this in perspective. While while these people are trying to sell this dude to us, we see what's going on in Chicago right now. And so now, can we say that he's changed? No, we absolutely cannot. And then he voted to take the judge's discretion away. Kind of interesting that it's him on his return to Capitol Hill that he also now, as president, was trying to get rid of the Miranda rights. So, I mean, this is who Joe Biden is. For those of us, who don't understand civics.
Matter is, we've gone from there all the way up to saying, under the leadership of Senator Thurmond, and I'd like to suggest that I take some small credit for it myself as well, and others, the presiding officer, that there is now a death penalty. And we passed it a couple years ago.
Now, when they talk about Donald Trump, and let's just keep everything fair, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. However, Donald Trump put up a billboard about who now, one of them, just won a political seat in New York. The Central Park 5. Yusuf Salam, I believe, got his position yesterday. He won, not sure what position he got, but he got a job in, won a political office in New York City. So shout out to that brother, because he had to go through hell. Of course, he's not foundational Black American, but in this case, wrong is wrong. And man, I hope he does something well with it, and time will tell. Sister Ernestine, thank you so much for the CashApp donation. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you. I appreciate that so much. Shout out to you. So now he is going on a super rant in the Senate about his targeting. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's what this is. This is targeting. This is who Joe Biden has always been.
If you are a major drug dealer involved in the trafficking of drugs and murder results in your activities, you go to death. And
think about what he's saying. A non-violent criminal. Now, man, Dr. Oddface, I would love to know, is this part of civics to where there's any type of politician that is demanding death where there wasn't a death committed, to say, oh, well, he by chance of this. Trust me, there are people who go to prison for being the hand or the initial sale of the narcotics that may have taken someone's life. That's not unheard of. This right here is extreme. But again, think about what we're talking about. We're talking about crack. Now, go back in your mind in like that snowfall time, like when Freeway Rick and Young BMF and all of them were getting their good goings on. He's literally trying to set a snare and a trap to take the lives of Black men. So to ask Black men why they wouldn't support Joe Biden, maybe this might have a little bit to do with it, since he's never got right about this. I'm just saying.
Other severe penalties. We changed the law so that if you are arrested and you are a drug dealer, under our forfeiture statutes, government can take everything you own, everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you just got caught engaging in. They can take.
No, he got laws that target Black, because it's about crack dealers. So to say that like there wasn't any type of legal targeting of the Black male, this is him. This is the man. The one you trying to, we gonna get torn apart by if Trump get in there. Man, torn apart. What are you talking about, Roland Martin? Do you hear the way this man is speaking about black folks? These are black men and women who, and this is history, sir. History that people have lived. Some have recovered from, some help other people in recovery. Some people are counselors, teachers, authors. The list goes on. However, they'll never be able to forget that maybe their grandma lost their house. Maybe their mama lost their house. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? They understand all the scars that go with all the loss that happens with what was going on by way of these laws that over aggressively attacked and targeted black males. This is your Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen.
Everything. We have laws in the last several years where we don't allow judges discretion to sentence people. Flat time sentencing. You get caught, you go to jail.
And he's happy about that. You understand? He happy with that. Good, let's get him. You mean to tell me that you believe this man got black folks back? Ooh-wee. Let me tell you something. No, he does not. And let me see if this is it. Hold on. Wait. Something real quick. Okay. Let's check this. I'm gonna just play the audio.
Here, and then you and I will go over
This
them
is
in a
your
moment.
boy.
Then you say on page 14, we must not become part of South Africa's problem. We must remain part of their solution. We must not aim to impose ourselves, our solutions, our favorites in South Africa. Damn it, we have favorites in South Africa. The favorites in South Africa are the people who are being repressed by that ugly white regime. We have favorites. Our loyalty is not to South Africa, it's to South Africans. And the South Africans are majority black, and they are being excoriated. It is not to some stupid puppet government over there. It is not to the Afrikaner regime. We have no loyalty to them. We have no loyalty to South Africa, to South Africans. And the fact of the matter is I listened to this rationale first of all. It is the leaders of South Africa and their people, black and white, who have the majority responsibility. They must rise to it. Well, they are rising to it. They're rising to it. The only thing left available to do with that repulsive, repugnant regime of Afrikaners there. And it's the only way they have. They've tried everything for the last 20 years.
Now, so let me explain to you, those of you who are not understanding what you're hearing. This is a Senate hearing about South Africa and apartheid. Now, this is how he's talking about apartheid as it pertains to South Africa. Fast forward to today, you have Palestine sitting right there, kind of in an apartheid state. And the rest of the world better not say, y'all shouldn't just be slamming bombs on people. Not that it's our crusade at all, because it is not. However, though, I'm just trying to demonstrate to you the hypocrisy in what they're trying to sell us. So if you were so concerned, man, please, just understand when they selling you that bridge. You dig? Let me see. I think there's another one of this dude. Let me hear it. Let's see if I want to make sure this is the right one. No, this got music in it. I don't want that. Where we at? Bear with me, family. I have one more. Is that it? Let's see. Yes. This is what I was looking for. Let's hear old proud. Let's let old proud Joe rip. Yeah, let her rip, Joe.
The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill.
How about that? So again, being really, really proud and loud about those bills. And I just played for you what and who, you already know who was being targeted. So let's go back. Let's go back to Sassy Rowland, because he's saying,
having this conversation.
Let's listen to these people and this, that. And so, come on now.
Supreme Court decision.
Okay. There we go. All right. So
legitimately say, I am for Black people and support a person and a party that is doing everything they can to decimate Black people. Today's Republican Party supports Ed Blum and getting rid of affirmative action.
Joe Biden completely has always believed in destroying the Black family, as well as Hillary Clinton, by the way, to whom you were buck dancing for. Yeah. All of them strongly support the destruction of the nuclear Black family.
It was 16 Republican attorneys generals the week after Supreme Court decision. They sent to law firms saying your programs, your fellowship programs, they might be unconstitutional and illegal. They're targeting corporate America. They're targeting jobs programs. They're targeting HBCU initiatives. Every single initiative, they're targeting Black venture capital funds, the Fearless Fund in Atlanta. So you think for a second that I would even consider these people who are so virulently anti-Black? The same poll.
Now, see, and this is my problem. What is Joe Biden right now doing for Black America? Because you can't tell me about civics. So again, taking another brief pivot from somebody said Holland. Oh man, let me go to we gonna go to Chicago. I want to hear play something for y'all. Let me see. Okay, hold on.
I'm good. I'm good.
Get this up there.
Go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. Okay, I was waiting on your go ahead. Good morning. My name is Carter Truss, and I am here on behalf of not just the Austin community, but also Black residents of the city of Chicago. And one of the things that we saw in City Hall chambers on today, as well as on Thursday, was the misuse of power. what we saw was people being discriminated against. We saw being disenfranchised for the right to vote on something that they felt we needed to have a referendum on. So I stand here today saying that there is a division in this city, and it is being caused by our elected officials for not standing up for the Black citizens of this city. I've seen people walking around with shirts on that says "Bring Chicago Home," and that's really about people who are not from here. But what about the people who are at home here in Chicago? Our mayor went to fight for billions of dollars for migrants. Who's going to fight for monies for the Black community who has been left out time after time? What we're saying to you is we are tired. I don't know if you're going to continue to disenfranchise us, continue to not hear us, continue to pretend that our voices don't matter. But we're saying to you, when we show up today in numbers, we're saying that you're not going to continue to ignore us. You're not going to continue to pretend like our voices don't count. We are here today to tell you that not only do we count, we're not only here to say it, but we are here to show it. While you guys are building coalitions within city council to help out people who don't live here, you better be building coalitions to help out the people who are here. Because we are certainly building coalitions for ourselves. Because see, we see that you don't have our voice. We see that because Emerson Park is still closed and there are no services being provided there. Our seniors are still out of their park. And I say to our mayor, who knows me personally and knows that I have been advocating for parks for the last 35 years, why you would think that it would be okay for you to attempt to put migrants in my park and not have a conversation with me is beyond me. I don't understand it. But I'll say to you and every other elected official, you better start talking to your people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Howard Ray.
Okay, yeah, and I mean he didn't say nothing crazy or nothing like that, but that was the main one I wanted y'all to hear from that particular session. But there is more, because y'all gonna have to see, for these people, the Shills don't seem to get. It ain't just us. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, we are a huge factor, but it's not just us that's pissed off. And let's see, where is that? Where's that video? Is this it? So I'm trying to see why ain't this in here. Okay. So let me show you this, because see, this is in another ward of Chicago. I guess Brighton Park. So with this particular hearing, there wasn't a lot of Black people there, if any. So what I had to take notice of is that these are immigrants weighing in, because we heard what the sister had to say, and Black folks been raising hell nonstop out there, and in New York as well. So shout out to all of y'all. But this right here is a neighborhood that is more immigrant based. You have way more Latinos and Asians, and this is a meeting for them to kind of voice their concerns. And I want to play this first one for you. This is funny. This is just the introduction to it, but it's funny that they play this first too. But check this out. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me get the sound on for you. Oh boy.
It's
Read
temporary.
the room, sis.
They won't
Read
be
the
here
room.
forever. And if something happens, we have Chicago Police Department. We have resources that will uphold the law. You know, so
to discuss the migrant encampment at 38th in California.
Now, just look at what the demographic of this is. There's not many black people here at all. Let me see. Yeah, this is a Latino. That is so. When you guys talk about how these, remember, they're saying black and brown people are leaving, and then, well, man, wouldn't they want to support the immigrants?
You're first. Just announce your name, please.
Hector Delgado from Bryant Park. How you doing, neighbors? Good to see you, everyone. I'm glad to see everyone in here. Well, first of all, I don't agree.
Oh, okay, Black.
With the camera.
Black Anthem.
I lived in this community for a lot of years. My wife for over 35 years, and have not seen significant investments in the community, often plagued by violence, with no response from the police. Infusing a community with 2,000 migrants with no plans is not a feasible plan. It's not sustainable or fair. There is no assistance for schools, no plan for bilingual support. Now tell me, what about the migrants in this community that have lived here for over 30 years and have no viable path to citizenship? What about them? Tell me. We have a new group that's getting everything right off the bat, and that is, will they have support? There is no transparency or accountability. We deserve to be heard, and we deserve to have a voice. We are also part of the soul of Chicago. Thank you.
So this is showing you that even the immigrants who have been here, they're not feeling what's going on. And not to mention, they're basically showing you that this is an agenda. Let me see. There's the other fellow. Yeah, that dude, he just basically comes up and goes off. This is stupid. It is just stupid. It's just stupid. You need to stop it. Stop this stupid stuff. It's doing the most.
Y que los que tomaron la decisión de que se ponga un campamento en contra de todos los que dejaron afuera son los alumnos de la escuela, los maestros y el personal de la escuela. Porque ellos estaba todo preparado cuando nosotros, yo pude entrar porque llevaba una señora de la tercera.
And she's saying that the students at the school están poniendo contra.
Sí, todos votaron a favor de ella. Era un impedimento para que entraran los demás.
For the media that was inside, she didn't take note of everyone that was outside waiting, and they didn't let any of the residents in.
Nos da domicilio por domicilio a preguntarnos si estábamos de acuerdo. Eso es mentira que se le agredió a él y a su compañero. También es mentira.
And that's a lie.
Yo he estado ahí.
Yadira Silva? Was that her? Selena, okay, gracias.
All right. Zhao Hong Chen. Thank you. Raza,
right.
Thank you. Yun Mo.
Let's hear what the Asians got to say.
Michael Lin. And please identify yourself.
大家好，我叫陈小红，我在美国，我现在是公民，我在美国18年了。
My thing is, there's nothing that we can change. Things are already in place. You know, the plan is already here. The immigrants are already here. So we have to find solutions to address the problems that are going to be happening in the future. And that means providing housing and providing support for these families of these children, because these children are going to grow up. You know, they're going to be.
No. Now, if you're peep something, the only people who are in this room advocating, well, they're already here. These are the people who are down with making sure certain percentage of black pigment impaired folks are existing. Like when Jane Elliott went on Roland Martin and told Roland Martin that it is black women's responsibility to make sure the white race does not disappear. And Roland Martin's, I'm a man, sat there and said, Lord. So you notice how these people are like, we got to figure out a way. No, deportation, man. That is the answer. You can sit down. Awesome. Yeah, I want to hear this guy. This guy here. Let's see.
Chicago is currently spending a staggering.
Both these Asian dudes.
Hello, good evening. Some of you might recall my last appearance at Kelly High School on October 24th. I was so enthusiastic during that speech that I even lost my voice the following day. First and foremost, let's recognize that many of us in this community are migrants ourselves. When we come to the United States, we did not expect handouts from taxpayers. We work diligently to make a living and contribute to the society we now call home. We deeply value self-reliance and self-sufficiency. However, there's a specific group of migrants who are being treated differently. They receive free housing, free meal, free Medicare, and much more. This raises the question, why is this happening? Our concerns are not about opposing migrants in general, but about ensuring that those who cross the border and come here respect the principle of hard work, self-sufficiency, and the value that our community upholds. Furthermore, it's critical to highlight that the city of Chicago is currently spending a staggering $40 million of taxpayers' money every month on these migrants. This is an issue that deserves our attention and consideration. All right, thank you. Good night.
Now, with this particular individual, he mentioned the whole hard work line and handout line, and we hear that often, especially from their community, because they were also the hard work. It's like, stop it. But then when people start talking about civil rights, then they want to come into the conversation, such as people that y'all have been familiar with, like Diane Yap and people like that. And I've done, and she's really flying off the handle here lately, if y'all have not been paying attention. But that's what that just reminded me of. Oh yeah, I gotta get there too. So let me see something. And yeah, they're calling Joe Biden right now Genocide Joe. That's a name for Joe Biden. They're calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe. That is horrible leading into a presidency. And again, so you can't just make it about the black vote. But we are leading the charge of people waking up and realizing, smelling the coffee and your BS.
Hi everyone, my name is Yon Mo. I live in Brighton Park for over 20 years now. And I'm an immigrant myself, so I'm not against the idea of having more people here, but my issue here is with the city of Chicago. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you know this is the limit. And when you know your budget is running out, how can you keep just saying except? You cannot do something that imaginary that there will be money pouring down and to help keep doing this thing, okay? You have to have a limit. You have to just say to them, no. I cannot do this anymore. This is what I really think, because I pay my tax and you don't spend your money on our residents here. You know, we have potholes.
Welcome
My
to America.
tree wasn't trimmed, okay? I called the city for 2 years, they never come. And now they even remove my request because they say, oh, we have a new program now. We're gonna do it block by block. I don't know when that's gonna come to my neighborhood here, okay? So why not treat ourselves, you know, treat our residents who really pay the money for everybody here, okay? That nicer, okay? We need help too. You know, you have to take care of your own people first. Thank you.
And speaking of own people, see, you know, I can appreciate his sentiment. And of course, you have to understand, we have Shills on the right, Shills on the left. And only thing worse than a white supremacist is a wannabe white supremacist, like the woman to whom you see now in the corner of your screen. Shout out to dark-skinned brother for the 99-cent super sticker. I appreciate that, my brother. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours, my brother. Yes, indeed. So they're going through it over there, and look at all of these residents. They're like, hey, we got over here. Why is that a problem? Oh yeah, that guy right there. That I want to catch that guy. Because this was very interesting. I'm just telling, like, There's some of these people who start talking, and you can kind of see where's that man at? That, you know, they understand that they can't have. Oh, actually, yeah, she actually was pretty good too. Hold on. So, yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Maria Rowland. I also live on 38th Street. I'm at the end towards Sacramento. I've been in that area for 54 years. I've raised my family, my grandchildren. My children went to Kelly, went to Davis. But I'm also a senior. I'm 80 years old. I live alone. My concern is safety. Why is it that I know a lot of people think that because they're immigrants that we all should agree, but I would like to ask those people who say, yeah, let them help them. How would you like 2,000 people in your backyard, in my alley, where there's two openings, one on California, one on Sacramento? We were told that we would get wood all the way to the back. There's two openings in there. So who's going to be watching that if they're not coming out on California, they're coming on Sacramento? So who's going to be there for security for people like me? There's a lot of us who are seniors and really on my way to church, I see a lot of homeless people. Why are they being homeless and in the street, and yet we're spending that kind of money on immigrants? Even though I'm from Puerto Rico, I'm still considered an immigrant because nothing was given to me when I came here from Puerto Rico 70 years ago. I also pay my taxes and I raise my family here. So yeah, I'm very concerned. And those who are for it, I would like to give you 500 of those people in your backyard and see how would you.
You cut her mic off.
My name's Ricardo Palacios. I want everybody here, especially all the news. I blame the mayor, the alderwoman. I give Senor Raymond Lopez for coming here representing the 12th Ward. Where's our people? Got their finger where they don't belong. First, the mayor is fighting for something that got nothing to do with us. He ain't fighting for our senior citizens. He's not fighting for our veterans. He's not fighting for our kids. Our schools are already overcrowded. Where are you going to put these kids? Now, another thing, that ground is contaminated. But look what the guy said. He ain't stupid. He put on there, I'm renting it as is, but he's going to be guaranteed $91,000 of our tax money's payers. And guess what? You think it's right? Where is him? Okay, he signed a contract that he wasn't even here. He was at Washington, D.C., fighting for somebody else. He wasn't fighting for Chicago. He came out in one news conference. I'm a black man with 3 kids. Guess what, buddy? Where's your obligation? Your family comes second. Okay? This got nothing to do with race or color. Everybody here, we're one family. We're from the 12th ward. Hear me loud and clear. Hear me loud and clear. We're Pride and Park, and there ain't nothing that nobody could do about it.
Now, with that being said, just giving you some a taste of how some of these immigrants was coming. You understand what I'm saying? So when people saying Joe Biden is losing, he ain't just losing because of us. He's losing because he's a bad president. He was never good for us in the first place. Let's just keep that completely a buck. But understanding at the same time, you know, with the Roland Martins and all of these, you guys don't understand civics. We understand civics just fine. And we also understand a bad deal when we see one. And this situation here is an incredibly bad deal for us. So with that being said, we're going to keep continue on here. Let's see, where do I need to go next? Let's see, bear with me 1 second. So let's go to, and we're going to make this little jump real quick over to Hillary Clinton to Donald Trump. And this is their only tactic, family. They really do firmly believe, and this is, you know, there it is. But this is one of the things that they believe they could do. They believe they could just simply throw Trump as a word out there, and then, oh, we'll just hop to and skip to because we're so scared of Trump. And now she goes on The View and compares him to Hitler. But let's just look at what we're going to take a look at old Hillary too. Because these are people, remember, when they talk about, oh, you guys didn't vote for Hillary, and if we don't vote for Joe Biden, you know, they're going to be, oh, well, you know. So here's looking at the now and yesteryear. But for now.
Hitler was duly elected, that's right? And so all of a sudden, somebody with those tendencies, those dictatorial, authoritarian tendencies would be like, oh, okay, we're going to shut this down. We're going to throw these people in jail. And they didn't usually telegraph that. Trump is telling us what he intends to do.
We need to listen to
Take him at his word. The man means to throw people in jail who disagree with him, shut down legitimate press outlets, do what he can to literally undermine the rule of law and our country's values.
He will use the military to stop protesters.
He's going to do it. He's not going to do a whole bunch of stuff right.
Oh, Lord. I mean, he's going to be ripping screaming babies from the arms of their mothers. Lord. Oh, Lord. Let's take a flashback, shall we?
I know I should answer the question that is on very many of your minds, and that is, how did a nice Republican girl from Park Ridge go wrong? I mean, this is one of the great unanswered questions that we have to address. And I have to tell you, it started right here. And the reason it did is because in 1964, during the presidential election of that year, I had the absolutely best teachers for what we used to then call, I think, civics and democracy or government and democracy. Each was a semester course.
Oh, there's that word again, civics. Funny how it keeps coming up in certain places and associated with certain individuals, isn't it? Man, it's amazing how that happens. Boy, I'll tell you, coincidences all the way around. Not to mention, another one of Hillary Rodham Clinton's idols is this woman right here. That would be Margaret Sanger. She called her a visionary, exterminating black people. And then you have this man who's absolutely proud of the laws that he did, executing, like what she just said, locking people up, and people basically you don't agree with, which, of course, being black is disagreeable by nature in the system of white supremacy. So there's that. I mean, I'm just saying, somebody's really paying any attention.
And they decided they were going to have a mock election, and that we were really going to go all out. We were going to have debates. We were going to have the whole panoply of activities around a mock election. At that time, as Ken Reese has told every reporter in America who has called to ask him, and I understand he runs a one-man information bureau about me, I was a Goldwater girl. I mean, really, we used to wear, little banners which said Goldwater girl. So my social studies teachers struck upon this great idea, since I was vocally a Republican and for Senator Goldwater. And one of my very best friends, a woman named Ellen Press, was one of the few Democrats in the whole school, vocally for Lyndon Johnson. Our social studies teacher said, well, we're going to have a debate, but here's what we're going to do. Hillary, you're going to be Lyndon Johnson.
Now, do you understand Lyndon Johnson against Barry Goldwater? So at the time civil rights was passed, she was with Barry Goldwater, who was one of the things he was running on, mind you, was overturning civil rights. This is Hillary Rodham Clinton, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Better understand.
Ellen, you are going to be Barry Goldwater. Both of us went ballistic. I said, I can't do that. They said, oh, yes, you will. And you will now go to the library and you will now read about the other side of everything that you have refused to look at for your.
Because you have to understand, you too are just simply wings on the same bird.
Entire life, and made Ellen do the very same thing. We, with our teeth gritted, then engaged in a mock debate. It was the beginning of what an education should do. People will end up in different ways, but at least we were forced to actually examine deeply what we believed. We were forced to read opinions that were not the ones that we had already formed. So after leaving Maine South, I went to Wellesley, still a Republican, but a different kind of attitude and a different sort of inquiry about what it was I believed. And then gradually over time in college and law school, I evolved my own political beliefs, which frankly are in some ways neither easily defined. They're not dogmatically Republican, dogmatically Democrat, easily defined as liberal or conservative.
But they are absolutely anti-black, considering how you labeled us super predators. I mean, this is Hillary Clinton, y'all. This is Hillary Clinton. I think that's enough for that one. I just wanted to play some things out of her own mouth so you can hear for yourself. And let me see. There a clip of Barry Goldwater here. Let's see if I got me some Barry Goldwater here. Bear with me 1 second, because no, that's not it. Hold on. Where you at? Where you at? Of course. I got that Barry Goldwater thing in here somewhere. Where you at? Because he's talking about civil rights. Is it this? Sure is. There we go.
Senator Goldwater, we have another question here from some of our listeners. You voted against the Civil Rights Act in 1964. Would you do so today? And what is your position now on the proposed Voting Rights Act?
Well, to answer the first part of your question, if the same two items remained in the bill that caused me to think it unconstitutional at that time remained in any bill today, I would have to vote against it.
Now, let me explain something to you. Where these people, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, what they have had is a storied history of perfecting the game of anti-black politics. So understanding how things were changing and how things had to morph, you had to learn to still see. People think like what they say about energy. Energy doesn't go or leave, it transfers. Well, just like this devil here. The energy of this devil didn't leave, it transferred into its understudy, which its understudies just became more savvy at masking their anti-blackness behind their party affiliation. That's all they've done. But when you see it now, start thinking about, okay, how can we dismantle civil rights without dismantling civil rights? Oh, let's blame crack. Let's blame guns. Think of all the things that was going there with crack. Why aren't you seeing nothing like that with fentanyl? And people falling dead off of fentanyl day and night. Why don't you see that with fentanyl? There's no move of any aggression towards fentanyl. And you're finding it coming over by the carloads. But this dude is concerned with overturning civil rights. That's how you'll know. Look at the neighborhoods in Chicago that can't get money to beautify their districts, but they are willing to give all of this money to companies and corporations to house these migrants for Joe Biden's plan of replacing his voter base.
This isn't something, by the way, that you make a determination on from the standpoint of politics. I have no question that had I voted for that bill, I might have softened some of the Negro opposition to my candidacy, but I'm not foolish enough to think that I would have won over the NAACP. I have to live with myself, and I took an oath to defend and uphold the Constitution. And this was the only civil rights bill in 12 years that I couldn't vote for. But it did contain two items that I thought were unconstitutional. One, the court has now said is constitutional, so I have to abide by the court.
And I was a Goldwater girl. Yes, of course you were. So when did your anti-black view shift from that, Hillary? See, people, when you, like I said, you dealing with the devil, they could get savvy with hiding it. Get real savvy with hiding it. And let's see, where else do I need to go? Where is this? Let me go here and show you a little bit of Strom. This is Strom Thurmond, ladies and gentlemen.
The
Southern revolt against President Truman reaches its climax at Birmingham under the states' rights banner. Venerable Alfalfa Bill Murray comes out of retirement to join in the protest against the president's civil rights program. More than 6,000 flocked to the Rump Convention to select the presidential ticket. In the forefront of the move are Alabama and Mississippi delegates who bolted the Democratic National Convention at Philadelphia.
And these are the people to whom Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden came up under. Hope you learned and heard that these are Dixiecrats. Why would you believe that all of these Dixiecrats just went away? Some of them remain Democrats, some of them remain Republican, but they all remain anti-Black. See how that works? It's a grooming system. Making sure, because see, white supremacy cannot exist unless it replenishes itself. You also have to replenish it on all levels, i.e., politics. And you're seeing it from there. Let's see. Look at these good old boys, I'll tell you. Yeah, there's old Strom. And this is the company he kept.
South Carolina and fielding right of Mississippi as party standard bearer.
Strom Thurmond, if you didn't know, he's from South Carolina. Standard bearers of the South. Good old Dixie. And so people be thinking like, oh, no, I just wanted to play y'all a little bit of that because Blueberry Muffin, white sheets. And so to say, how are you going to scare us with a Donald Trump when the person we have in there now comes from this? What are we supposed to be scared of? We already see the truth. It's too late. So, there's that. So I just wanted to walk it down memory lane for you real quick. And oh yeah. Oh man, we got to go back to it of this particular video. Joe Biden talking about busing. And we're going to take a little examination because people don't, we don't understand civics. So let's just understand the man.
This thing is being north versus south. That's not the issue. It is rural versus urban. And most of the busing that's taken place to date has taken place in rural areas, whether it's be administratively ordered or court ordered. Now we're moving into applying the same standards to urban areas. And it is a standard that doesn't make sense. It doesn't apply. It doesn't hold. We're moving from trying to.
Now, see what he's saying is, well, yes, when you're busing other rural white kids with white kids in the city, that's fine. That's not the issue. What you're talking about is moving those jungle bunnies over into our neighborhood. That's different. I mean, y'all got to tell me I'm wrong about this man.
It doesn't hold. We're moving from trying to, in urban areas, we've had integrated facilities, but segregated neighborhoods, but segregated facilities. And they've applied the same standard and the same test. So this north-south thing is not really the issue. As Professor Nathan Glazer at Harvard has indicated, as Dr. Armour of the Rand Corporation, as James Coleman, as I just tell 3 days of hearing, two days of hearings in the Judiciary Committee on another bill I have beyond this that deals with busing. And there is uniform opinion of those who testified that it is not a north-south, it's an urban-rural question, distinction.
But no matter what your intent, there are going to be those who say it's a segregated thing, it's
it's a question of race, and that you have set back the movement of desegregation of schools. How would you answer?
Again, more of your guys' work. They're talking about him setting back integration, which, I mean, school integration, if you were actually getting the proper funding for Black schools as white schools, and they were equal funded, that would be different. But of course, we're talking about Black schools, so you can target, Black children specifically. So in some situations, integration, especially in schools, worked out for a lot. But again, and not for some. So I mean, good for some, bad for others. But one thing is for certain. This man was trying to figure out. See, this is what this shows you. Trying to find ways to chip away at Black progress.
Answer that.
The way I answer that is I predict that the young Black leadership of America will overwhelmingly decide with me. I predict that in 1980 and 84, my position will be totally vindicated by the sociologists and by the civil rights advocates. I come from that side of the track. That's where I'm from. I was a defense lawyer. I handle civil rights cases. I sat in on Route 40. I mean, I'm not from the other side of this. And I happen to.
He's been giving this spiel a long time, ladies and gentlemen. So I can understand why people are so haven't known this history of him. Be flim-flammed. I get it. Because like Roland Martin, you always wanted an old white grandfather. I'm just saying. But I mean, this is who this man is. There's nothing else there, man. This is dude.
To think that the one way to ensure that you set the civil rights movement in America further back is to continue to push busing, because it's a bankrupt policy. And that's why I think I'll be vindicated. I don't include myself with the pro or anti-busing force. I think the only group that can determine whether or not a constitutional violation exists is the federal courts of the United States of America. No one else has that right. Secondly, a federal court of the United States of America determining a violation of the Constitution with regard to school desegregation cases must find that there is a specific intent to segregate before they can order busing. That I abide by, that I legislate by, that I hold by. And they're the standards we should repair to. It's difficult to establish intent, but it's clearly possible. Factually, it can be established. The Supreme Court 8-0 ruled yesterday that they must find that. And you very well know, as covering this area as long as you have, that there are legal standards by which you bring in burdens of proof to establish whether or not there was a specific intent. And a court can find that.
Oh, history of Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen. And so want to play this little quick soundbite for you so you can, just hear from a good elder talking good sense. And we're about to get up out of here, but I need to play one more video for y'all. But this audio is a beast. This is Amos Wilson. It's going to play. Oh, come on now. Oh, the wheels keep on spinning. Hopefully, this will play here. That would be nice. This sucks. Wow, trying to play this audio for y'all, family, and it is acting janky right now. I don't know what's going on. So, with that being said, I wanted to play this last video that my my subscriber One Who Cares has sent me earlier, and it definitely speaks to one of the other things that we have been demanding as a collective is a anti-hate crime, black hate crime bill. And they'll say, well, you know, what do you mean you got a crime bill? We got the anti-lynching law. The anti-lynching law only works if you enforce it. And when you choose not to enforce it, or, I mean, because truth be told, were the McMichaels charged with lynching? No. And again, when you talk about lynching laws, it's like, well, oh, we're going to deem this lynching a suicide, and then there it is. So with that being said, I want to play this video just to keep things in perspective of why we need this hate crime bill. So again, I wanted to give you a thorough walkthrough of Black people being educated on why we're not rocking with Joe Biden. If you need to get anybody to understand that, you could send them this video, tell them to sit down, grab some popcorn, and push play. And so, again, shout out to One Who Cares. Thank you for sending this to me. And family, take a listen to this.
This is a call to action. This happened in Florida. And people, we need to wake up, stand up, and we need to cry loud. There are too many unalivings, lynchings that are happening. People being found hung. And down in Jacksonville, actually in Baldwin, Florida, they're trying to rule everything that happens to this right here. People like this right here, kind of rule it a unaliving of themselves. This is Keandre Taylor. He was working down in Baldwin, Florida at a travel center, Travel Centers of America, a Petro down in Baldwin, Florida. He voiced his concerns many times to his family, even tried to reach out to HR regarding the harassment and the racism that he was facing at his job. But nobody was listening at his job. His family was, but at his job they wasn't. They failed him. Some of the last words that his family heard from him when he wrote them was, I don't want to be unalived out here, man. And less than 48 hours before his unaliving, Keandre expressed his fear of dying at the hands of racist staff and co-workers. September the 30th this year, Keandre was hung. He was hung. And at the time of his unaliving, his emergency contact was not notified. His family was not notified. He had been unalive for almost 24 hours before his mother, Tawana Richmond Taylor, was even notified. And there are many inconsistencies and untruths that clearly shows that this was not done to himself. Somebody did it to him, or somebody's. It was extra people. This was done to him. He didn't do it to himself. He had bruises. He had knots on his head. He had a swollen eye, and it looked like somebody had actually beat this boy up. He's 31 years old. He has 3 children that are under 10 years old, and they are the light of his life. And this young man was found hung in a storage shed at his job at the Travel Centers of America in Baldwin, Florida, in his uniform. And the only way that his family found out was it was somebody that he was cool with that called the family, called the mother. Now, this may be a procedure, but everybody at his job could identify him. But the police came in and still wanted to fingerprint him. The questions that have to be asked. If he committed an unaliving to himself, how did he hit himself in the eye? How did he hit himself in the head? How did he end up with all these bruises? How? This is just like the Yona Lubrin case and many other cases that are happening all in Florida. This stuff is happening in Florida. We need to wake up, people. And when you try to search this story, people, TikTok, when you try to search this story, there are no news stories, no articles or anything. It's the family crying aloud. So we need to get this out there. We need to share this, share it far and wide. We need to bring attention to this. Justice for Keandre Taylor.
Yes, indeed. Justice for that brother. And that is exactly why we need an anti-Black hate crime bill ASAP. Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? We. And I know Roland Martin somewhere over there, man, right
hijo
now.
de la
Like,
chingada.
oh.
Deja de estar viendo memes, pendejo.
A la verga, me vale verga, perro. Y cálate a la verga, hija de tu puta madre, a la verga. La verga, verga.
Yes, indeed. Like our sister said, justice. Justice. Let's get it. And that is something that that's something right there that Joe Biden could say, I'm doing for the Black community. I'm making sure I get you justice. Because, it doesn't take a civics class to understand justice. You understand what I'm saying? We don't need a civics lesson to understand what justice is. And remember, as our elder has already told us,
we put it in the frame of reference. Everyone, when they talk about racism and white supremacy, should always start by saying that the focus, the objective should be replace white supremacy with justice. Those are the 5 basic words.
Simply put, with that, family, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this evening once again, right here at the beatzillapdx official show. If you have not already, make sure you hit that like button, share this out, subscribe, and you can also become a member if you hit the join button. So, and for those people who, you were watching this and you say, well, I disagree, you can let me know in the chat. But for the bought and paid for Democrat Shills, the Boule beauties and dudes, and all of you organizational with these different think tanks and PACs, these groups that are saying, okay, well, now we have to do something about this swing in the Black community, about how they are perceiving the vote. And right now, your messaging is telling us that we are just simply too stupid and too unaware and too uneducated to understand why we shouldn't be voting our best interests. And see, that's what we're telling you. So if you want our vote, throw them tangibles in the mix. Nothing is stopping you from putting tangibles down on the table. Go ahead, throw that cash on in there, buddy. And let's get some justice as well. Let's get some hate crime laws protecting Black folks. Like I said, it could be done. See, here's another thing. We don't even hear ourselves mentioned. So don't now start saying, oh, man, when y'all wanted to get us that jab, oh, Black and brown people ain't doing this, and Black and brown, we are only Black folks. Now it's coming down to Black male voters. You don't hear Black and brown male voters. It is simply Black male voters. And the Black male vote can't be shamed into voting for someone who has already demonstrated the state. See, Black men, when you're the target, you really know you're the target. And when you're actually the target, that means you can point directly to your enemy. And that's what we just did. We showed you who did it and how they did it. And that's Joe Biden with his law And now he's trying to sit up here and come back at you with another 4 years with this one.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
And for all of you, people who have spent all your time trying to call black folks stupid, and we just don't know anything, and you're doing all of this for this Democratic Party, you get one of those. Sambo! For real. Because all you is.
Buck dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
So we know you ain't probably gonna make it. You definitely part of the 2/3 club. And, well, some people just gonna be asleep for good.
But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for good. And I'm
Oh man. So yeah, when somebody say, "Oh, you got loudmouths and all these people, they ain't got it wrong and this and that," nah, I really don't think we do. So at the end of the day, we have to just simply stay firm and stay on our square and steady at the plow. For those of you who think you are going to get in the way of that progress, like we don't see your lame tactic now, for Roland Martin and Dr. Ife, Jasmine Crockett, and all you other Shills out there in waiting, I speak for myself, beatzillapdx official, beatzillapdx official show, and those of you in the chat, the grassroots and the voices of new black media, I think it would be safe to say that we proudly dedicate this song to all of you bootlicking Shills. Hashtag hands off our
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to support this broadcast, you can definitely do so by way of first hitting that thumbs up button. And you can hit CashApp, hit that donation by $ beatzillapdx. That's CashApp, $ beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And so with that being said, until the next time, family, keep watch for broke Hogans.
I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
The fact that he would actually say that is just insane. Nonetheless, stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir. You don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yeah. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.